Go ahead and get started. It is 6:30, and I will now call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knutson? Here. Gross? Here. Quinn?
Present.
Jones? Here. Goodrich?
Here.
All council members are present, as is the mayor, the city clerk, the city administrator, the city attorney, and several other staff in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Huynh and seconded by Jones. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Item number 4. So I have the pleasure of reading several proclamations this evening. And the first is a proclamation that I have already read, but I will read it at this meeting as well. This is for a celebration of the grand opening of the new Coralville Community Food Pantry building. Whereas hunger and its root causes are of grave concern in the United States, the state of Iowa, and in the city of Coralville. And whereas 1 in every 10 Coralville households is food insecure. And whereas the Coralville Community Food Pantry has served as a vital food safety net for the Coralville community since 2009. And whereas with the help of the community, the food pantry celebrates a new chapter in its history with the opening of a newly constructed facility. And whereas in its new building, the food pantry will continue to partner with the community to ensure that all of our neighbors have access to the food that they need and deserve, both now and well into the future. Now therefore I, Megan Foster, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of Coralville, do hereby proclaim April 6th, 2023 as a day to celebrate the grand opening of the new Coralville Community Food Pantry building in Coralville, Iowa, and urge residents to support the food pantry in its quest to build a stronger, healthier, and hunger-free community. It was signed on the 6th day of April 2023. And I believe that we have some staff members from the Coralville Food Pantry and some board members here as well. Would you like to step up to the mic and say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. John Bowler with the Coralville Community Food Pantry. This is an exciting new chapter for our Coralville community. Thank you to the City of Coralville for your generous investment in our More Than a Pantry capital campaign. We deeply appreciate it. The building is complete, and we've been operating out of the space for 10 weeks now. And thank you, of course, again, Mayor Foster, to the City Council, city staff. You've all been strong supporters of the food pantry for many years now. And to our neighbors, times are really tough right now, but we as an organization will continue to be there, linking arms with you to address those root issues of that lead to hunger. So we're here for the long haul, and this new facility gives us all the tools we need to keep moving. So thank you. And I don't know if Rob, did you want to say a few words?
How you guys doing? Board Chair Rob Rogers, and this is a really great thing. And all I have to say is that cool stuff like this happens in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood when you play nice. So thank you, Coralville, for playing nice.
Okay, would anyone else like to speak on behalf of the food pantry? Well, I just want to say congratulations. This is an amazing milestone, and I had the honor of serving on the board of the food pantry for 7 years prior, to after I had to cycle off of the board. But even though I'm no longer on the board, I have begun volunteering, having regular volunteer shifts, squeezing them into my schedule when I can, and it is just a joyful place to be. They welcome everyone through those doors with open arms, and we're so grateful for all of your work on behalf of our community. All right, would you like to take a picture? The proclamation, and now I can finally give it to you.
Everybody who's involved to go. Yeah, Keith, hi. Yeah, yep. I say.
Okay. Proclamation number 2 is for Fair Housing Month. Whereas Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, commonly known as the Fair Housing Act, was enacted into law April 11, 1968, recognizing no American should have the right to purchase or rent recognizing no American should have the right to purchase or rent rent of choice abridged because of race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. And whereas 2023 marks the 55th anniversary of this monumental Civil Rights Act of Congress. And whereas the American Housing Survey reveals over half of renting households below the poverty line spend at least half of their income on housing, with 1 in 4 of those households spending over 70% of their income on shelter costs alone. And whereas nationwide, only 1 in 6 eligible families receive housing assistance, with applicants spending an average of 26 months on waiting lists. And whereas the acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunity are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness, and whereas housing is a basic human right upon which a person's stability, peace, and health depend. Now therefore, I, Megan Foster, Mayor of the City of Coralville, do hereby designate the month of April 2023 to be Fair Housing Month in Coralville, and encourage community members to participate in commemorative events, educate themselves on fair housing issues, and endorse policies supportive of fair housing at the local, state, and national level. Signed on this 11th day of April, 2023, Megan Foster, Mayor. And we have someone who is here to speak to us this evening and accept this proclamation.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Mayor Foster. Hello, everyone. I am Jessica Andino. I am the new Executive Director at the Johnson County Affordable Housing Coalition, so it's really great to finally see everybody in person here today. I'm also glad to meet you during Fair Housing Month. In light of the 55th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act, it's a time to reflect on the improvements that we've made and assess the current housing system that we all act in today. While many nationwide policies, such as the Fair Housing Act, have brought forth improved conditions, and there have been steps taken by local officials to further these efforts, the housing system we still all interact with today is not fair, and it negatively impacts the well-being of our community members. So now it is time for us to acknowledge fair housing is affordable housing, and that having housing that is safe, stable, and affordable in our country and our community benefits everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for all of your work on behalf of the Affordable Housing Coalition. It's a great organization. We really appreciate all of your efforts in our community. Would you like to take a photo? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You don't want to be in these pictures, do you?
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, I have a proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas the City of Coralville shares a critical concern for victim survivors of sexual violence and a desire to support their needs for justice and healing. And whereas sexual violence affects every person in the City of Coralville, Iowa, as a victim survivor or as a family member, significant other, neighbor, or co-worker of a victim survivor. And whereas the City of Coralville recognizes that research documents that victims are far more likely to disclose their assault to a friend or family member, and when these loved ones respond with doubt, shame, or blame, victims suffer additional negative effects on their physical and psychological well-being. And whereas the Start by Believing public awareness campaign is designed to improve the responses of friends, family members, and community professionals so they can help victim survivors to access supportive resources and engage the criminal justice system. And whereas the Johnson County Sexual Assault Response Team requests public support and assistance as it continues to support survivors and work towards a society where everyone is free from violence and exploitation. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Megan Foster, Mayor, do hereby proclaim in concert with the Johnson County Sexual Assault Response Team that April 2023 to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month throughout the County of Johnson as part of the National Start by Believing Public Awareness Campaign. Signed on this 11th day of April, 2023, Megan Foster, Mayor. And I believe we have some folks here to receive this proclamation as well. Step up to the mic and introduce yourself.
All right. Hi there, my name is Katie Rasmussen. I am a sexual assault nurse examiner as well as the coordinator for the Johnson County Sexual Assault Response Team. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you, Mayor Foster, as well as the rest of the City Council for this proclamation and for helping us to bring attention to Sexual Assault Awareness Month and our Start by Believing campaign. We really are trying to create a community where victim survivors feel safe and supported, knowing that if they do come forward to disclose sexual violence, that they will be believed and that they will get the support and help that they need. So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, would you like a photo or would you like to speak as well, your colleague? Okay. All right. Okay. On to item number 5, community comments. This is a time for community members to speak to us about items that aren't on the agenda or items that are on the agenda but are not subject to a public hearing. Each speaker will have 5 minutes, and we do reserve the right to adjust both the comment time and the individual speaker's time based on the number of speakers or any accommodations that a speaker might need. So is there anyone that would like to speak to us tonight? Okay, step up to the microphone, say your name, and welcome.
Hi, my name is Royce Peterson. I'm here to report on behalf of the Community Citizens Police Advisory Board. We continue to discuss training opportunities at each meeting. Amy Gosnell has a potential opportunity that she has volunteered to work directly with the chief to determine the feasibility of this training for our police department. She will report on this at our next board meeting. There is ongoing discussion on how we can best interpret and report on the traffic stop data that will be presented this summer. The board is asked to receive a copy of the PowerPoint prior to the presentation so that we can be better informed and prepared with questions. We also have asked to have the presentation recorded so that we can do follow-up review for points that need to be clarified. There are no current complaint forms filed or being reviewed. One community member did approach Dennis Lydham with concerns that they were hearing but has not been able to get them to the board. Dennis will try to meet informally to hear the concerns and provide assistance if it is determined that they should be brought to the full board for review. Thanks, and I'm reporting on behalf of Dennis tonight. He can't be here, so that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do I need to sign this as
Yes,
well?
just sign in. Yep, that way we can have a complete record of who was speaking with us. Appreciate all of your work on that important board. It sounds like there's a lot of great conversations being had, and we really appreciate both the work of the chief and the work of the board.
We have a lot of collaboration going on.
That's great. That's the best. I love hearing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Item number 6, mobile vendor permit. This is the second reading of an ordinance that will establish one permit for mobile vendors and establish uniform regulations for their specific operations within the city limits. Prior to this, mobile vendors were classified as transient merchants in city code. Could I have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 2023-1003, an ordinance amending Chapter 122 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coralville regarding mobile food vendors, introduced for adoption, second consideration by Councilmember Knudsen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Questions or discussion?
Yes, do we know how much the fee are going to be set at yet?
We'll on the third reading, we will bring a proposed fee schedule back to you so that we won't have to put it in the ordinance and change it on 3 readings every time.
Great. Any other questions?
I may have missed this a couple weeks ago, but there's that Euro food truck on 2nd Street, I guess.
Correct.
Hasn't moved in a while. Been meaning to try it, to be honest with you. But how will this affect that?
You're not going to be able to stay overnight in a specific spot. It's not really a mobile food vendor if you just stay in one spot and not move at all. So that's part of the thing. They will have to move off their property. They can go back to that property, I think 3 days in a row, if I remember correct, Dave. But they won't be able to just stay in one spot to.
As I read the ordinance, they can stay there. They just can't be open 3 consecutive days.
Well, but they have to move I believe they have to move every day. They can't stay there overnight.
Because if it was there all of the time, then it would be an established business.
And, you know, you're supposed to be mobile food vendors. People, brick and mortar people pay property taxes to be able to stay on a spot. These individual businesses, as a mobile food vendor, we feel that they can't just park in one spot and stay there.
So for the permit, in order to operate on any of the facility, they have to get a permit with the city.
Yeah,
right?
it'd be like an annual one. We're not going to charge them every time they move anywhere. It'll be an annual permit to operate.
So the reason I ask is that there's a food truck that operated out in North Liberty, but sometimes they come to the pantry and just give food out to people. So will they have to apply for a permit then every time they park at the pantry parking lot and operate in that way?
They would have to get a permit for the one time a year. That would be it. They wouldn't have to get one every time they come down.
Would that, if they're giving...
If they're giving food away, that's a different...
That's what I was wondering.
They're not for sale, though.
No, it's not for sale, yeah.
No, they wouldn't have to get a
So
permit
they wouldn't
then.
need a permit
Correct.
if they're donating?
Yeah. And, if a business had it at their business for a function, say Hills Bake or somebody had it, we're not going to charge them for a business bringing them in because it's not open to the general public either.
Okay. So would the pantry then have to pay a fee?
No.
To host them?
No.
Okay.
And this would be more for events like Fourth Fest.
But those this ordinance doesn't apply to them because the actual groups that do that are in charge of the vendors. We're not going to. They pay a fee, I believe, to the Fourth Fest committee. We're not going to charge them a second one. We're just going to make sure that. So it's basically for people who are operating for profit. If they want to go around town, not with one event or anything like that. So it's not for the events. Will take care of their own vendors. obviously they'll come to us to show where they're going to be and everything like that. But it's not something you have to get a permit or pay for either.
So let's say the Fall Fest have a committee
Correct.
that take care of that. So let's say if someone wanted to have a festival in the city, but they are not an established nonprofit, or have like a committee that take care of that stuff, but they do want to bring in food truck, how would that work? Would that group then have to pay a certain fee for each food truck to be operated in that special event?
It's the actual food truck that would pay, and they only pay a one-time fee to operate in the city for an annual permit. So they could come for numerous events for one fee.
Okay.
And you said, Kevin, you're going to get that number, the fee to us?
Yeah, I think that what is a transient permit fee right now, Thor?
Currently $25.
Yeah, so we're not going to make this. I mean, we're thinking $25 to $50 for our annual permit. We're not looking for $200-300 or anything like that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, could I get the roll call, please?
Councilmember Gross.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes. Item number 7, building codes adoption. This ordinance will adopt the 2021 editions of the International Building Code, International Residential Code, International Swimming Pool and Spa Code, International Property Maintenance Code, and the State of Iowa Electrical Code, State of Iowa Plumbing Code, and State of Iowa Mechanical Code with some amendments. This is the second reading of this ordinance as well. Could I have the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 2023-1004, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coralville, 2011, as previously amended, and adopting by reference the 2021 International Building Code, the 2021 International Residential Code, the 2001 International Fire Code, the 2021 International Existing Building Code, the 2021 International Fuel Gas Code, and the 2021 International Pool and Spa Code, the State of Iowa Mechanical Code, and the State of Iowa Electrical Code, the State of Iowa Plumbing Code, and the State of Iowa Energy Conservation Code, all with amendments thereto for introduced for second consideration by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Nguyen. Questions or discussion on this item?
If this is obligatory, is there not a reason to collapse this?
Well, you can't collapse it tonight since it's not on the agenda anyway.
True.
So.
True. Okay. Yep.
Any other questions? Could I get the roll call, please?
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes. Item number 8, Consolidated Transit Funding Application. This resolution will set a public hearing on our FY24 Iowa DOT Consolidated Transit Funding Application for May 23rd, 2023. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution setting a public hearing on the City of Coralville FY 2024 Iowa Department of Transportation Consolidated Transit Funding Application, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Jones. Questions or comments on this item? All right, could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 9, 5th Street improvements, 12th Avenue to 20th Avenue. This item will reject all bids received for the 5th Street improvement project from 12th Avenue to 20th Avenue because they came in well above the engineer's estimate. Staff will notify bidders after the Iowa DOT concurrence and after they are reviewing options to simplify construction with an intent to rebid the project through the Iowa DOT this fall. And we have our engineer, Scott Larson, here to give us an overview.
Yeah, I'm basically just here to kind of repeat what I mentioned at the March 28th meeting, that the low bid was substantially over the engineer's estimate, 33.1%. We've done a pretty deep dive into the bids received, and really noticed that there were quite a few unit prices that were in some cases more than double what we would typically see. And even given some of the challenges that the Fifth Street project has, we just felt like the unit prices were just too high on too many items. And so if the bids are rejected, as noted, we would notify the DOT, ask for their concurrence, and then we would pursue likely extracting some elements of the project out of the DOT bid project and instead do those as a direct city project. Primarily what we're looking at right now is water main work. Trying to take that out of the project would ultimately simplify what's left for a contractor to build as part of the Fifth Street project, and hopefully condense the time frame of the various phases and make it more appealing to bid on as a prime contractor. So right now, if all goes as planned, we would hopefully be able to rebid at the DOT as early as this September, which we think would be a better bid window. So.
All right, thank you
Yeah.
for that overview. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution rejecting all bids for the Fifth Street improvements to 12th Avenue to 20th Avenue, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Jones, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Questions or discussion?
So, Scott, what will this mean timeline-wise for completion of the project? Estimate?
Basically push the project back a year, and we'll have to redevelop the schedule a little bit more. But the way we were looking at the project as it was bid was a 2 full construction season project plus a little bit of the next construction season. So we're hoping by doing some of the, taking the work out and doing it earlier, that maybe we can fit this project into 2 construction seasons instead. So, but as of right now, other than the ongoing utility relocation work that's causing the disturbance out there now, property owners, residents along that corridor, really what we would expect to see would be just the water main work that I talked about, which, isn't a significant traffic disruption. So.
And the utility work will continue as scheduled?
Yeah, the electrical and utility communication work, I can provide another update on that, but Mid-Am Gas is also out there doing a new gas main, and it's going as planned. So.
Thank you.
Great.
Scott, if I remember right, there were 5 phases in terms of stretches of road that were
Yes.
getting done.
Yes.
Is that going to remain the same? I assume that was to allow most people or all people to be able to always access their home.
Yeah, it's a combination of accessing homes, apartment buildings, but also business access. So
homes or businesses.
we do see a potential to collapse 2 of the phases, the paving associated with 2 of the phases. So that's something we'll be looking at and hopefully be able to present a little bit better option for contractors that bid on it next time.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah.
So we might be able to consolidate that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Goodrich?
Aye.
Knudsen?
Aye.
Gross?
Aye.
Wynn?
Aye.
Jones? Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 10, West Land Use Central Trunk Sewer Phase 1. This project will build a trunk sewer from the Clear Creek Amana Community School District new elementary school site to the northwest corner of Highway 6 and Lucas Avenue. Award and approval of the contract needs to wait for the Iowa Department of Natural Resources concurrence. And we have our engineer here to give us the bid report, bid and engineering department recommendation on this project.
Okay, thank you. On March 28th, we received 3 bids for the West Land Use Central Trunk Sewer Phase 1 project. The low bid was from Maxwell Construction Incorporated of Iowa City. Their base bid was $2,148,320. And there was also an alternate bid as part of this project that substituted one pipe material for another. and their alternate bid was a deduct of $62,550. Our engineer reviewed all the bids and concurs with the numbers, and the engineer's estimate was $2,050,000. So what we would like to do tonight is recommend awarding the project to Maxwell Construction, pending DNR concurrence on the award, in the amount of $2,085,770. So that's a combination of their base bid and their alternate bid. But again, as noted in the memo, we hope to be able to bring this back to you on either the April 25th or May 9th council agenda to be able to award contracts. So,
great. Thank you for that overview. Any questions on this one? Okay, fantastic. Item number 11, we have another bid report. This is for extending the Oakdale Boulevard west of the Jones Boulevard roundabout to its intersection with the Crossing Ridge Driver Project to be constructed by the Clear Creek Amana School District to access the new elementary school. Award and approval of the contract needs to wait for the U.S. Corps of Engineers to complete the archaeological review. What do you have for us on this one, Scott?
all right, thank you. So we received 6 bids on March 28th, which we were very happy to see that number of contractors bid on the job. The low bid was from Metro Pavers Incorporated, and their base bid was $1,831,320.60. The engineer's estimate was $2,571,303. So that was quite a bit below the engineer's estimate. As with the previous project, we are recommending awarding the project to Metro Pavers Incorporated pending completion of the archaeological review process by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And again, hopefully we would be able to come back at your April 25th or May 9th council meeting to recommend awarding the contract.
Great, thank you. Any questions? All right, appreciate that information. Item number 12, Morrison Creek Drainageway project. This was for a trail project to cross the Morrison Creek Drainageway north of 8th Street and will connect existing trail on both sides of the Drainageway. And we will start this with a quotation report with our Parks and Rec Director, Sherry Proud.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Before we do quotation report, I just wanted to pull up the aerial of where this will be happening for our viewing public at home. We have worked with the school district to connect. They have placed a new sidewalk that goes across the south side of their football field, north side of the former soccer field. What we're looking to do is cross this drainage way that was put in the late 90s and then connect up to the trail that here is on the southern border of Applewood. We received 2 bids for this project, and the low bid was for $86,000, and the second bid was for $93,398. The engineer's estimate on this project was $84,314. This project would be funded partially, $29,000 of it from project funds in the general fund which have been designated for this endeavor, and then the remainder out of the City Trails Fund, which is money allocated for the hotel motel tax dollars. I would recommend award of this project to J. Harding Inc. in the amount of $86,000, and we are hoping to start this very soon and be completed by July 7th so that this connection can be used during our Ragbri celebration on July 28th.
Great, thank you for that overview. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution approving quotation and awarding a contract for the Morrison Creek Drainageway project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Nguyen. Questions or discussion on this item?
So is there going to be a bridge kind of over the waterway then, or
So
what's that going to look like?
Instead of going with a bridge, which was substantially more costly,
Sure.
we went with 3 RCP or culvert tubes through the drainageway, and then the trail will actually sit on top. So there could be times when water passes over that, and it'll be signed appropriately to not enter the area if it does. But we're pretty confident this drainageway doesn't run a lot of water. Pretty confident that'll be rare.
Great.
And then just, I forgot to add, in the future, then what we hope to do is connect from this point down to 8th Street and then on down through St. Morrison Park for a trail connection that comes up along that entire area. And then people can go this way and head west, or can go up to the north and go to 10th Avenue and on either to the west or on to the north. Great.
I'm grateful that it was my turn to have my name attached to this, because it's been a long time in coming, and I know that the neighborhood will really appreciate and enjoy this. Thank you for working on it.
Thank you, Representative Goodrich. Something that maybe you might get a question on, so I'll make sure I cover this. The neighbors really wanted, they were really pushing for a connection to go straight across.
Yeah.
And we looked at that, and this span was over 150 feet. And also, there's quite a bit of difference in the elevation of this side to this side, as well as the school district asked us to not go across their football field, or to where people would put their feet across or bikes across the football field. So we wanted to make sure that we were respectful for what they wanted, and then came down to a lower position where we could shorten that distance across the drainageway and thus shorten up the cost of it. Great.
So is the blue existing already? Or
This blue is
future
existing.
by
This is already poured.
It is, okay.
Yeah, they poured that last fall.
Fantastic.
Have to check it out.
All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Knutson?
Aye.
Gross?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Jones? Goodrich?
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 13, Crossing Ridge Drive. This is a cooperative agreement between the Clear Creek Amana Community School District, the Oaks Family Partnership, and the City of Coralville for a new access road off of Oakdale Boulevard to the new elementary school named Crossing Ridge Drive. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution approving an agreement with the Clear Creek Amana Community School District and the Oaks Family Partnership regarding the construction of Crossing Ridge Drive, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Knutson, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Jones. Question, comments, or discussion on this item?
Yes, this is an agreement between the Clear Creek Amana School District, the city, and the Oaks Family Partnership. The Oaks Family Partnership owns the property directly to the east of the Clear Creek Amana school site, and this will be the north-south road that will intersect with the Oakdale Boulevard project that Scott described to you earlier. So this under the school district has bid this out, and they are doing the project as part of their school construction. They're doing the road project separately, but so this agreement basically. The city's involved because we're going to take the right of way for the school, part off the school district property and part off the Oaks property, and then there's a split of the cost between the Oaks Family Partnership and the Clear Creek Amana School District for the road, and then obviously we've done the engineering review and we'll take over the road as a public street after it's been constructed.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
No city money, it doesn't sound like, for that one.
Not in this project, no.
Right. Could I get the roll call, please?
Councilmember Gross?
Aye.
Quinn?
Aye.
Jones?
Aye.
Goodrich?
Aye.
Knutson?
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 14, Central Trunk Sewer Project and Oakdale Boulevard Extension. These agreements between Richard and Donna Jondal and the City of Coralville are for easements needed for the Central Trunk Sewer Project and the Oakdale Boulevard Extension. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution approving various agreements for the construction of the Oakdale Boulevard Extension and Central Trunk Sewer Project with Richard and Donna Jondal, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Nguyen. Questions or discussion? Okay, could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson. Aye. Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item 15, Finance Director Signatory. This is a bank requirement to give our new Finance Director, Melissa Christensen, access to the city's bank accounts in order to perform her duties. Could I have the resolution?
Resolution approving Finance Director Melissa Christensen as signatory on all of the City of Coralville bank accounts, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Questions or comments? Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Item number 16, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
We consider motion to approve the consent calendar as presented, A to double A.
Moved by Nguyen, seconded by Gross. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
The consent calendar is approved, all ayes. Item 17, City Administrator's Report.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Okay. Item number 18, Mayor's Report. I have a few things. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to all of the public safety workers, all of the emergency workers who helped us recover and rebuild from and clean up from the devastating tornado that we had come through the community last week. Really appreciate the efforts of our emergency workers. They worked swiftly, they worked efficiently, and we had the Highway 6 open very quickly. We had traffic signals up very quickly, and so we really appreciate everyone's work. Also wanted to thank United Way, several of the other nonprofits that are working to help the families that have been displaced access the resources that we need. You know, it's always a learning experience every time an event like this happens, and I'm so proud of our community's response, and just wanted to, make sure that when we have future events that we are giving our emergency personnel the time that they need to do their work. It's really important. We had so many generous, helpful community members asking how they could help, how could they pitch in. And the biggest thing is that we needed to make sure that it was safe for our community to come out and help, and that we were following protocols. Those protocols are there for safety and efficiency. So thank you again to everybody that wanted to help, and again, really appreciate the fact that this community steps up, when there is a need. We have a generous and compassionate community, and I'm really grateful for that. Also wanted to say thank you to everyone that attended the basket auction, and it's always a fun event to see what the band is. I believe this year, the band is Voices of Classic Rock, and that is has artists from several different bands that will play your favorite hits from the 80s. So that'll be really fun, a fun addition to our 4th of July celebration. The Global Community Meal was also a great success. It was a weekend it was kind of an emotional roller coaster of a weekend, because we had the tornado on Friday, then we had the basket auction and this beautiful community meal the next night, which was so needed as a way for our neighbors to come together and just be there for each other after such a difficult event in our community. It was beautiful. Display of the cultural diversity that we have in our community. And thank you to the food pantry and the volunteers who helped with that event. And then last but not least, if you have not seen, we have a theme and a logo for our Coralville Ragbri celebration. The theme is Cheers to the Years, and that's a great way to bring together the anniversary of Ragbri and our community's sesquicentennial milestone. So we have the logo in the lobby of City Hall. If you get a chance to stop by and take a look at it, it's on display there. And again, really excited for both of those events happening this summer. And that is all I have. City Attorney's report?
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Committee and council members report. We'll start down at this end with Councilmember Knudsen.
Thank you, Mayor. Second year thanks and gratitude for all the city staff involved. Unfortunately or fortunately, I was down in Dallas with Caitlin Clark, who I also want to thank for her work on the food pantry, and appreciate the updates. Came back and rode through the town and you could see some damage, but it was incredible how effectively we were able to clean up after that devastating event. So thank everybody for that. We did get some comments on some noise down at the convention center, early AM noise. I wanted to see if there's been any resolution of that. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I mean, part of the noise ordinance, and this is what happens in mixed-use areas. The noise ordinance applies to residentially zoned properties, so that area is zoned commercial, and that noise ordinance for picking the garbage up does not apply in that neighborhood. So
it sounded like more than just garbage, though.
But once again, part of the thing with the mixed-use neighborhood, you're living in an area that has commercial uses too, and commercial trash or anything like that can be picked up prior to the 7 o'clock start time. So that's one of the issues. And I don't know who was doing it. If we could maybe just give them a call, if they know which companies do it, maybe we could look into it and see if there's a way they can, by themselves pick up at a later time or try to limit their noise. But that is the noise ordinance applies to residentially zoned neighborhoods, so that does not apply there because everything at River Landing is zoned commercial planned unit development.
Okay.
But we'll follow. If we can figure out who's doing it, we can follow up just to see if we can give them a call and just ask them if there's another time they could do that or whatever.
That seems like that would be worthwhile at a minimum. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Gross.
Yeah, I won't be redundant, so I thought you covered everything well about the tornado recovery, so thank you.
All right. Councilmember Huynh.
Yep, just want to echo what the mayor said, and I also wanted to express gratitude to all of the chefs who have to shift gears and all of the volunteers who have to shift gear, because on Friday the meal was supposed to happen, and of course we know what happened on Friday. So we shift gear and move it to Saturday. It was a lot of coordinating, a lot of shifting thing. There was people that lost power in their house, so they couldn't cook any longer. But just like the mayor said, the meal was beautiful, especially after just heartbreaking event in our community, and to have people come together, eat together, and actually linger around and have conversation with their neighbor. It's really beautiful to see. And I want to thank everyone who stepped out and helped with the cleanup effort. It was really hard to see because the area that affected the most was my old neighborhood. And just walking around, looking at the houses that my kid and I have walked through countless of time, waiting for the bus, just hard to see. It was really hard to see. I just hope that with all of the joint effort that we can pull resources together and help those people get back up on their feet. I know that there are a lot of help out there, but there's also a lot of barriers that come with those helps. And folks has been very depressed because they find out that they are not qualified for the resources that are available out there. So I want to encourage everyone to not give up, to keep asking questions, come to public spaces that that have people who can point you to the right direction. City Hall, Food Pantry, United Way office, the Red Cross, all of the HACAP. So reach out. And if you don't know where to go, if you don't have a phone, again, come to us. We'll find a way to help you. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Yes, you brought up a great point. I was going to mention United Way, that if you needed additional help, that United Way is the hub for getting people connected with those resources that they need. So thank you for that reminder. Councilmember Jones.
Just a couple things, Madam Mayor. I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to tour Child Serve on Oakdale Boulevard. They made a presentation to our Rotary Club and invited us to come out, so I took advantage of that. A great organization providing very much needed services to youth in our community. They broke ground the day before I was out there on their new addition that's going to the west of their building. It's almost going to double their space, and they really need it because they're pretty cramped in the space they are now. But they would welcome anybody to tour, and any council member that would like to tour, you can just give them a call, and they'd love to have you out. But it was very worthwhile. Second thing is I purposely used the drive-through recycling center today, and it was quite nice. Now it's new and clean and all of that, but I would recommend that to all our citizens. It's on the south side of First Street in Coralville, and it's very simple to use and really a nice facility. So hopefully it can stay clean and nice, and it'll be a good addition to our community. That's it.
Great, thank you. And last but not least, Councilmember Goodrich.
The Fireman's Pancake Breakfast is this Sunday, correct? Correct, from 7 to noon. We look forward to pancakes, and what else do you have?
Pancakes, sausage, and eggs.
Yeah, great. And always a nice time and a great time to visit with volunteer firemen, too. Thank you for having that. We look forward to that. And another event that we have planned for Coralville's 150, along with RAGBRAI, is April 24th at the library. It's from 5:30 to 7, and it'll be a fun time of hearing Chuck Offenberger. He's the Iowa boy from the Des Moines Register, and he will be talking about past RAGBRAIs, and in particular the very beginning, and how RAGBRAI has been sponsored here we're on our 6th time, and there'll also be opportunity for you to get involved too. So that's 5:30 to 7, Monday night, April 24th at the library.
Okay,
thanks.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question, if
Sure.
that's okay. I have community member reach out to me regarding the new recycling center. They have mentioned that because of the hour that they work, they can't utilize it. Is there a plan to extend hour to later?
Not presently, because one of the ways to keep the services is to have staff there, and so that is the hours when we had the previous building that we were open. And we do have Saturday mornings as well as early mornings, so we'll continue to evaluate that, but that is the way to do better than we have in the past.
What are those hours again?
They are 7 to 3 during the week and 7 to noon on Saturday.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Thank you. And with that,
I think that, the other one was not open on Saturday, was it?
Right.
Yeah, so that is a very nice addition.
all right, and with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Huynh, seconded by Knutson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank